morning. This is Nidhi Ghetia. Today we will discuss about the introduction to secondary metabolites. Okay, so let's be started. So today's our study of the content, that is introduction of the metabolites. Then secondary metabolites are derived from the primary metabolites. Okay, and then this is the chart of that. Okay, then secondary metabolites, then definition, then characteristic, then property and test for the identification of the alkaloids. Okay, today we will study the first secondary metabolites, that is alkaloids. Okay, and then classification, and then source of the alkaloids, then uses of the alkaloid, also pharmacological action of the alkaloids, then general method of the extraction and isolation. Okay, so let's be started with the introduction of the metabolites. So primary metabolites. What is primary metabolites? So molecules that are essential for the growth and development of the organism. Okay, any molecules are the essential for their growth and development of that particular organism. So that's called the primary metabolites. So their example, that is the carbohydrate, protein, lipid, nucleic acid, and also hormones. Okay, these all are the primary metabolites. Now we see the what is secondary metabolites. So molecules that are not essential for the growth and development of an organism. Okay, so any molecules are not essential, not required for their growth of the and development of their particular organisms. So that's called the secondary metabolite, and primary metabolite, that is essential for the growth and development of that particular organism. Okay, now we see the secondary metabolite are derived from the primary metabolite. Okay, so first primary metabolite are generated, and after they generate the secondary metabolites. So first CO2 plus H2O both are combined, and photosynthesis reaction are followed. Then they make the sugar, that is the one type of the carbohydrate. Okay, so primary metabolites are generated, then they gives the sugar gives the saponin glycoside or cardiac glycoside. Okay, and also cyanogenetic glycoside and glucoside, that is glucose containing glycoside. Okay, sugar, that is particular sugar, that is glucose containing carbohydrate. Then cyanogenetic glycoside, then saponin and cardiac glycoside, these all are the gives by derived from the sugar. Okay, then after the respiration process of the sugar, they generate the acetyl coenzyme and amino acid, these two molecules. Okay, so after the amino acids, they gives the terpenoids or sterols, and amino acid they gives the protein, phenol and alkaloids. Okay, then acetyl coenzyme, that is gives the malonyl coenzyme, and then after they gives the fatty acid or waxes, then they gives the phenol and malonyl coenzyme, both are the combined and gives the flavonoids and tannin. Okay, and phenol are gives the lignin. Okay, so this is the secondary metabolite are derived from the primary metabolites. Here primary metabolite, that is sugar. Okay, sugar, that is carbohydrate. So carbohydrate gives the saponin glycoside, cardiac glycoside, then cyanogenetic glycoside and glucoside. Okay, these all are the glycoside derived from the sugar, and they gives the also terpenoids and sterols, and after they further process of the respiration, they gives the fatty acid, then waxes, then flavonoids and tannins. Then they respiration, they making the one acetyl coenzyme, and second one, that is amino acid. So amino acid gives the proteins, then phenols, then alkaloids. Phenols give the lignin. Okay, so this is the secondary metabolite chart. Now we see the why secondary metabolites required. Okay, so are biosynthetically derived from the primary metabolite. Okay, secondary metabolite biosynthetically they derive from the primary metabolite. So they are more limited in the distribution, being found usually in specific families. Okay, so chemical warfare to protect the plant from the attack by the predators and pathogens or compositors. Okay, then attract the pollinators or seeds dispersal agents. Okay, then important for the abiotic stress, then medicines and also industrial additives. These all are the requirement for the secondary metabolites. Okay, why secondary metabolite required? Okay. Then what is secondary metabolites? Okay, so this is this introduction of the secondary metabolite. So poly is possibly over the 2,50,000 secondary metabolites in the plant. Okay, 2,50,000 secondary metabolites are in the present in the plant. So they classified based on the common biosynthetic pathway where a chemical is derived. Okay. So for the major classes, that is alkaloids, glycoside, then phenols and terpenoids. These all are the secondary metabolites. Okay. So the class of the secondary metabolites, major class, alkaloids, glycoside, phenol and terpenoids. Okay. So today we will study the first major class, that is alkaloids. So alkaloids is defined as the organic products of the natural or biosynthetic origin which are basic in the nature and they contains the one or more nitrogen atom, normally of the heterocyclic nature and possess the specific physiological action on the human or animal body when used in the small quantities. Okay, alkaloids is defined as the organic product of the natural or biosynthetic or synthetic origin. Okay, this is the an organic product of the natural or synthetic origin which are the basic in the nature. Okay, the nature that is basic and they contains the one or more nitrogen atom. So that's why they call the alkaloids. And then they normally having the heterocyclic nature. Okay, so it is also combined with the heterocyclic ring. Okay, so the nature is that is normally in heterocyclic and they possess the specific physiological action on the human or animal body when used in the small quantities. Okay, so this is the definition of the alkaloids. Now we see the characteristic of the alkaloids. So they are the bitter in the taste, then derived from the amino acid. So the amino acid that are most often serves as the alkaloid precursor are the example, that is phenylamine, tyrosine, tryptophan, histidine, anthranilic acid, lysine and ornithine. Okay, derived from the amino acid. Then alkaloids from the double salt with compound of the mercury, gold, platinum and other heavy metals. Okay. Then these salts are obtained by as the precipitate which are microcrystal. Okay. Then colorless crystalline solid with the sharp melting point. Okay, they are mostly present in the colorless substance. Then crystal solids mostly present in the solids, so crystallized structure and with the sharp melting point. Then some alkaloids are amorphous gum with while other like conine, nicotinine and liquid in the nature. Okay. So some alkaloids are colored in nature. Okay, their color and also their nature colored nature. Okay, then the example, that is betanidine showing the red color and berberine showing the yellow color. Okay, then salt of the most alkaloids are soluble in the water. Okay, salt of the most of the alkaloids are the soluble in the water. Then free bases are insoluble in the water and their salts are very sparingly soluble in the organic solvents. Okay, so this is the characteristic of the alkaloids. Now we will see the some other characteristic. So the basics on the only water soluble. Okay, quaternary bases are only water soluble. This is the quaternary alkaloids are the bases are only and only water soluble. Then pseudo and proto alkaloids give the higher solubility in the water. Okay, pseudo and proto, that is the two types of the alkaloids. So classification of the alkaloids, pseudo and proto, they gives the higher solubility in water. Then solubility and salts of the alkaloids is useful in the pharmaceutical industry for the extraction. Okay, then they gives the color pipetized with the halogen compound. Okay, alkaloids are give the color precipitates with the halogenated components. Then now we see the chemical properties. So its nature, so they gives the basic reaction that turns to be neutral or acidic when adjusts functional group and electron withdrawing like the amide group. Okay, they gives the neutral or acidic when they adjacent functional. So functional group, that is electron withdrawing groups, so like the amide group. Then salt formation with the inorganic acid, their decomposition during their strong storage contain one or more nitrogen. Okay, one or more N. Then in natural form exists the either in free state as the amine or as the salt with acid or alkaloids and oxide. Okay, nitrogen oxide. Then now we see the identification test. So different identification test, mostly 4 identification tests here. So first, Dragendorf reagent. So it's a reagent they having the potassium bismuth iodide solution. So they giving the reddish brown color PPT. Okay, in Dragendorf reagent, that is this potassium bismuth iodide solution. Okay, the reagent they containing potassium bismuth iodide solution. So they gives the reddish brown PPT of the solution. Okay, then Mayer's test. So this solution, that is potassium mercury iodide solution, iodine solution, potassium mercury iodine solution. So they gives the cream colored PPTs. Okay, then Wegener's reagent there. So in Wegener's reagent they contain the iodine potassium iodide. Okay, iodine potassium iodide solution. So they yielding they gives the reddish brown PPTs. Okay, then Hanger's reagent, so gives the yellow PPT with picric acid. In Hanger's reagent they gives the yellowish PPT with the picric acid. Now we see the classification of the alkaloids. So mainly 4 class of the alkaloids. First one, that is biosynthetic classification. Then B, that is chemical classification. In chemical classification also 3 class here. First, true alkaloids, proto-alkaloids and pseudo-alkaloids. Okay, these three subclass of the chemical classification. Then third one, that is taxonomical classification and pharmacological action classification. So first we see the biosynthetic classification. So indole alkaloids, tryptophan and that is the indole alkaloids considered in the biosynthetic classification. So the example, that is tryptophan. Then piperidine alkaloids, so they containing the lysine and lysine. So and imidazole alkaloids, they giving the histidine and phenyl ethylamine. So they give the alkaloid tyrosine. Okay, so this is the one class of the biosynthetic, class of the biosynthetic alkaloids, and some other, that is the example of the one example. Okay. Then now we see the chemical classification. So first one, that is true alkaloids. So on the basis of the heterocyclic ring, they are also known as the heterocyclic alkaloids. Okay, on the basis of the heterocyclic ring, they also known as the heterocyclic alkaloids, and they are toxic in the nature, and also they containing the heterocyclic nitrogen which is the derived from the amino acid. Okay, they are the basic in the nature. Then second one class subclass, that is the pseudo alkaloids. So they including with the mainly steroidal and terpenoids, alkaloids and purine. Okay, steroidal and terpenoids, and also they contain the alkaloids and purine. They are not derived from the amino acid. Mostly alkaloids are derived from the amino acid, but here pseudo alkaloids are not derived from the amino acid. The example, that is caffeine and consens. Okay. Then third one class, that is proto-alkaloids. So they are also known as the biological amines or amino alkaloids. Okay, they are also known as the proto-alkaloids, are also known as the biological amines or amino alkaloids. Okay, then they are simply simple amines in which the nitrogen is present. Okay, this is the sample amine because of the nitrogen present in their ring structure. It is not in the heterocyclic ring. Heterocyclic ring are not present in their structure. So the example that is ephedrine and colchicine. Okay, this is the protoalkaloid. Now we see the heterocyclic alkaloids. Okay, so in heterocyclic alkaloids, there is some example, that is pyrrole, that is also known as the pyridine, pyrrole and pyrrolidine. So this is the two structure. So their example, that is coca species and hygrine. Okay, then second one, that is pyridine and piperidine. So in heterocyclic ring, nitrogen present, nitrogen containing with the amino group. And the example, that is acrolein, ambasins, then coin, then lobeline, then pelatrinin, then trigonelline. Okay, these all these two class, these two example we will see. Okay. Now we see the sources of the alkaloids. So they mostly alkaloids occurs in the plant kingdom. Okay, and among the angiosperms. So they having their family's name that belongs with these all are the families, that is Leguminosae family, then Papaveraceae family, then Ranunculatum family, then Rubiaceae family, Solanaceae family and Barbadensis family. Okay, these all are the Ranunculaceae family. Okay, Leguminosae family, Papaveraceae family, Ranunculaceae family, Rubiaceae family, then Solanaceae family and Barbadensis family. So all are the outstanding alkaloids yielding plant. Okay, they give the huge number of the yield of the alkaloid. Okay. Now we see the uses of the alkaloids. So poisonous agent which protect plant against the insect and herbivores. Okay, poisonous agent which protect the plant against the insect and herbivores. So and the product of the detoxification reaction representing a metabolic locking up of the compound otherwise harmful to the plant. Okay, and they also regulates the growth factors. Then also reverse substance capable of the supplying nitrogen or other elements necessary to plant's economy. Okay, first, that is the poisonous agent which protect the plant against the insect and herbivores. Then also the end products of the detoxification reaction representing the metabolic locking up and compound otherwise harmful to plant. Then also they regulate the growth factors. Then reverse substance capable of the supplying nitrogen or other elements necessary to the plant economy. Okay, these all are the uses of the alkaloids. Now we see the pharmacological action of the alkaloids. So first, that is analgesic. So their example, that is the morphine and codeine. Okay, analgesic, pain relief. Okay, analgesic action, that is the pain relief. Then narcotic. So their example, that is strychnine, brucine, which are the central stimulant. Okay, narcotics. Then anti-malarial, that is quinine. Then antipyretic, then anti-cancer, that is vincristine, vinblastine. Then mydriatic, atropine, then anti-inflammatory, and meiotics. Then meiotics, that is phytostigmine and pilocarpine. Then ephedrine, that is rise in the blood pressure and also bronchodilator. Then respirin, produce the fall in excessive hypertension. So these all are the pharmacological action of the alkaloids. Okay. Now we will see the general method of the extraction and isolation. So the extraction of the alkaloids depends upon the mostly factors, that is the basic in the nature of that alkaloid, the alkaloid's nature, that is first factor, that is basic in the nature. Then second one, that is the ability of the formation of the alkaloid salt with the acids Then the solubility of the alkaloids either in the aqueous medium or in polar organic solvent like alcohol, chloroform, acetone. Okay. Then now we see the extraction method of the, so method 1, method 2, 5 method here mentioned. First, that is method 1, and second one method 2, then fractional crystallization method, then steam distillation method, and chromatographic techniques. Okay. So now we will start it with the method 1. So in method 1, the drug is the powdered with the help of the grinder. Okay. So drug, first we will do the drug is converted in the powder form with the help of the grinder. It is the moistened with water and treated with the lime. Okay, they give the moisture with the water and also they treated with the lime. Then the drug is extracted with the organic solvent like petroleum spirit or ether. Okay, extracted with the organic solvent like petroleum petroleum spirit or ether. Then filter it and collect the filtrate. Okay, then this extraction they filter it and they collect the filtrate. So to the filtrate, add the water and separate the organic layer. And then after that, the organic layer is shaken with the aqueous acid and they allow to separate out. Okay, shaken with the aqueous acid and sometime stand for the separation separated. Okay, then reject the organic layer, remove the organic layer, and aqueous layer obtained containing the glycosidal salt, alkaloidal salt. Okay. Then now we will see the second one method 2. So the drug is powder form with the help of the grinder. Okay, convert the powder form, the drug convert in the powder form with the help of the grinder, and also moistened with the water, and after moisture with the water and they give the treatment with the acid. Then the drug is extracted with the alcohol and water, then filter it and collect the filtrate and add the acetone. Okay, then reject the organic layer which containing the several impurity. Okay, remove the organic layer because of they containing with the impurities. Then the aqueous layer, so obtain the contain alkaloid. It is treated with the ammonia or sodium bicarbonate and organic solvent is added. Then separate the layer and reject the aqueous layer. So the organic layer obtained contained with the alkaloids. So from these two method we will get the crude alkaloids. Okay, these two method 1 and method 2, that gives the true crude alkaloids. Okay. Now we see the fractional crystallization method. So it is the easy method, but it does not give the better result in the complex mixture. Okay, the method for the only one component. Okay, not for the complex mixture. So it is the easy method, fractional crystallization method, that is easy method, but does not give the better result in the complex mixture. Then steam distillation. So this method is used for the volatile liquid alkaloids such as the nicotine and quinine. Okay, the steam distillation for the volatile liquid alkaloids such as the nicotine and quinine. Then chromatographic technique. So this is the latest and widely accepted method employed for the separation of the individual alkaloids from the complex mixture. Okay, latest and widely accepted method for the separation of the complex mixture of the alkaloids. Okay, and also identification of the alkaloids from complex mixture. So these are the general method of the extraction and isolation. So now some examples of the chromatographic method. So the various chromatographic technique used are like the thin layer chromatography, that's called TLC, high performance thin layer chromatography, that is HPTLC, then high performance liquid chromatography, that is HPLC. Okay, HPLC. then column chromatography, then also gas chromatography, then ion exchange chromatography. These all are the various type of the chromatography. Mostly we will use the thin layer chromatography, HPTLC, HPLC and column chromatography. Okay. So now we will end our session of the alkaloids. Okay. So thank you to all.